Welcome to the deep dive. If you're looking to quickly get up to speed on major economic news, you're in the right place. Today, we're focusing squarely on President Trump's new tariffs. They actually took effect today, Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025.
Yeah, and our mission here is really to pull apart the main arguments. We'll look at what President Trump is saying, his goals, and then contrast that with a critical take.
Exactly. So, for sources, we've got statements from the president and also an analysis that dropped today in the New Republic, written by Timothy Noah. So, two pretty different angles. Okay, let's unpack this. Starting with the president's view, he's been quite open that he expects some economic pain, short term, for the U.S.
That's right. He's definitely framing that, framing those initial struggles as, a necessary step towards something bigger.
And that something bigger, he says, is a coming period of, well, major prosperity for the country. He's also predicting a significant renaissance in U.S. manufacturing because of these tariffs. Those are pretty substantial claims for everyone listening.
They really are.
Yeah.
And tied right into that is his point about federal revenue. Trump's claiming the money from these tariffs, it'll actually make up for the revenue lost from, well, those tax cuts that mainly helped wealthier people. It's worth remembering, of course, tariff money comes from taxes on imports.
Yeah.
So to offset big income tax cuts, well, that suggests a pretty hefty rise in the cost of imported goods.
That revenue part is quite something, isn't it?
It is.
And, to really drive home his optimism, President Trump has actually dubbed today, April 2nd, Liberation Day. That's a bold choice of words.
It really is. And that specific phrase, Liberation Day, is exactly where Timothy Noah in his New Republic piece picks things up, but with a totally different spin.
Right. So Noah actually agrees it'll be Liberation Day, but not liberation in Trump's sense. Noah thinks it's liberation from the, and I'm quoting here, lingering illusion that Trump's tariffs are about anything more than eliminating the progressive income tax. That's quite a different take for you to consider.
Yeah, and what's interesting is how directly Noah goes after Trump's economic reasoning. He argues, point blank, that the math on the revenue side just doesn't add up.
Noah really doesn't mince words, does he? While the administration suggests revenue is a key goal, Noah calls the whole idea that tariffs could replace income tax revenue totally idiotic. And even really, really stupid. Strong language there.
Very direct, yeah. And so Noah's central argument crystallizes pretty clearly. He believes the main driver behind these tariffs isn't really about boosting manufacturing or even general revenue for that matter. It's actually, in his view, a strategy to essentially dismantle the progressive income tax system, the system where higher earners pay a larger percentage. Noah's suggesting this is kind of a backdoor route to making the tax system less progressive.
Okay, so if we put these arguments side by side for our listeners, the core clash seems to be this. Are the tariffs mainly about helping American industry, or are they more about fundamentally changing how the U.S. taxes its citizens? Is that about right?
I think that sums up the central tension well. And it leaves us, and you listening, with a crucial question to chew on. Thinking about these two opposing views, Trump's vision of eventual prosperity versus Noah's warning about shifting the tax burden, what are the different potential long-term paths for the U.S. economy here?
Right, who stands to gain or lose in each scenario? And maybe just as importantly, what basic assumptions about trade, about taxes, about how economies work are really underlying each of these arguments? Something to think about.